Hi, this is Jason Millis, and for my research paper, I wanted to discuss whether or not the media can be unbiased, and that really means whether they can present the news in a fair way without pressing their opinions through it or leaning to the left or to the right. And I chose this topic because I am majoring in multimedia journalism here at GVSU, and the media is always very interesting to me, but something I've noticed a lot is how polarized the country is, and how things can only be the left or the right, or how it seems things can only be on the left or on the right, and that just really bothers me. And I know the media is a large factor in that, where a lot of news is liberal, and so they side with one and they attack the side that they don't agree with. But then there's also conservative news, and they attack the other side, and it just really separates the country. It's something that bothers me, and so getting down to whether or not it can be without bias was something that I wanted to get into. And while I was searching, I really found that bias is something that's been within the media and within the culture of this country since before we were even a country, and is ultimately what led up to the American Revolution, where all these philosophers and great minds like the Founding Fathers were writing things and spreading their beliefs throughout the public, and ultimately turned the public against the British, which can't be entirely attributed to them, but it certainly helped it along and ultimately led to the Declaration of Independence and the Revolution. And it was prominent through then, and then eventually in the early 1900s, there's a switch, and objectivity became more important, and it's been important since then. It's been an ideal of journalism, but people are finding ways around it, because objectivity is supposed to be seen from an outside view, not just your own perspective. And there's still ways that people can push it to the left or to the right to support their own views. And for even without that, what I've found is that it's really, really hard to even create that outside view, because you can't witness something from outside yourself, because everyone has biases towards some group or another of a race or religion or a gender or something, and they're going to be unconsciously biased towards these, whether they're writing objectively or not. And what I've ultimately come to the conclusion is that you can't really be unbiased in the media. And while it's a great goal, it's not really a realistic goal, because if we were writing objectively or without bias in media, we would have to write from an outside perspective of ourselves, which we can try, but really isn't possible, because our perspective will always be there for us.